Hello ladies and ever-returning undead. We're going to try today Dungeon Souls, the love child of Risk of Rain and Nuclear Throne, with a little bit of Rogue Legacy thrown in. The permanent progression system of Rogue Legacy is very much present in this game. We're going to just jump right into the game. It is a run-based game, which, you have one life, you go as far as you can in the game, you die, you restart, and you make progress. As you do, our barbarian is already rank 3, amazing! Anyway, I'm going to just jump in. I have played about 5 hours of this game, and I feel kind of confident of knowing how this game works. There's a bunch of secrets I don't know about it, but I can tell you the gist of it. I can show you how the game works, and hopefully I can show you one of the insane wrecking ball, super overpowered runs that I have gotten so far. So for that, hopefully we can make the warrior work. We're going to use this guy. In the character selection screen, this is the passive. You can spend money that you have gathered, and you upgrade some of your stuff. I put a bunch of points in places, and this is where the Rogue Legacy progression system comes in. It's like progressive runs will have better benefits and much of a higher chance of exceeding. Your first run is probably going to end in horrible defeat, but the more that you upgrade these things, and also the equipment can be upgraded somewhat, there's recipes you can gather and you can craft with the materials that you gather. You can unlock more difficulty levels. We're going to stay on normal here. Anyway, let's just jump in and I'll continue explaining as we go. It's a top-down action shooter, more or less. It very much is very resembling of Enter the Gungeon, very resembling of Nuclear Throne. It plays very much like that. It is going through the level, clearing it out. Basic, you find chests, you have items. Here's where the Risk of Rain factor comes in. An enemy there, we're going to smack it in the face. But we start out with some abilities that you go leveling up as you progress through the run, very Dodo-like. We will pick one of these 3 skills to upgrade. With this knight, I would say all 3 of them are very much worth getting. Mega Swords is not all that great, but we're going to pick them all just to showcase them. For now though, Multi-Cleave is basically the best ability you can have. Left click to attack, right click to use your ability. This will cleave everybody in the range. Anyway, let's go find some fools and wreck their faces with the knight. Is he the knight? Is one of them. Anyway, there he goes. He teleports to place. He just destroys the face of all them fools. And to start, the game does feel pretty slow, doesn't it? It's like, oh yeah, you walk up to the guy, swing, 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 and then he's dead. Whoa, man, exciting gameplay. It speeds up. Let me assure you, it speeds the shit pretty quickly. This is basically how you progress through levels. You find these sigils, these seals. Every enemy drops the money that I was talking about. You use this money to get upgrades to your passives and to forge different weapons. The knight right now is equipped with an ice weapon, as you can see there. But anyway, let's go one thing at a time. You find these seals, you activate them by standing on them. A bunch of enemies spawn, you kill them all, and you go on through the level, find all of the seals. Once you find them all and activate them, you can progress to the next level, so on and so on and so on until you get to the end. There's bosses in the middle, all that good stuff. And enemies spawn constantly, like you're never going to be left alone. You can also pick up some crafting materials from the floor. I know that I have a level up that I need to spend, but there's so many things to talk about in the beginning of the video that we're going to go a little slow. There's no time limit in a level. There's just people spawning all the time, but they're not going to pressure you over much. Sometimes they do though. Sometimes it gets a little too much and you have to take some care not to be murdered. So anyway, we have level 1s. So let's get the other ability that we can do. Level 1, or tier 1. Creates moving swords that pierce through enemies, blah blah blah. This is what it does. Just shoots a bunch of swords. And it's a very handy thing, what can I say? And then you can also level up some stats. I don't know if this is the way to go about it, but honestly, all I ever do is just put points in damage. Points in damage. Points in damage. The more damage you do, the less time the enemies have to hurt you. That is my philosophy so far. Anyway, this is the shop, another mechanic in the game. Very simplistic, very Risk of Rain-like. They offer you 3 items. You pick one, that's about it. Usually you will have no trouble affording these items. You can always afford something. At least in my experience, I have not come across a shop I was not able to afford. We're going to pick this book, even though the detonator is quite a lot better. I'm going to pick the book because that opens up one of the secret levels in this starting area. It is depending on the items that you're carrying on yourself, you'll be able to access secret levels or not. Anyway, let's activate this. Cleave everybody. Everybody's dead. And this is basically where the satisfying part of the gameplay loop comes in. Having a whole bunch of enemies on screen and just murder them all at the same time. It is very, very good. And like I said, you know, it looks very slow to start, like very kind of methodical, just working into places and planning out things. By the way, we activated all the sigils, so now the teleport is on. There's a timer here. When this timer runs out, the Redeemer comes in, and he will murder you. So I might just let that happen, at least show you what happens a little bit without actually dying to him. Probably at the activation of this level, maybe. We'll check it out. So yeah, that's basically it. You find all the sigils, activate them, murder everybody, go to the next level, so on and so on and so on. There's traps scattered about. Sometimes it's explosions. Sometimes it's a giant boulder that wants to crush you, that will murder the shit out of you. By the way, another level up. More damage. Sometimes I will get some defense. Sometimes I'll get a little bit of movement speed. But for the most part, you're going to see me put points and damage all the time. I've also started basically ignoring these. I used to pay a lot of attention to them. The floor traps, and for the most part you kind of want to when you start. Oh shit, I didn't want to do that yet. I activated the shelf that pushed me to the secret room. I wanted to open the chest. Whoopsie. That is a little bit of a detail that I would appreciate the controls, to being able to do a little bit more fine control on that department, because I've done that a few too many times. This metal scrap is used later to forge different equipment, such as this ice weapon that I'm using. I think I already mentioned that. Anyway, you know, just continue on. It's moving through these levels. You activate the sigil, you murder everybody. Like I was saying earlier, I never got to finish that thought. It seems very slow, right? It seems like kind of repetitive. It will continue being repetitive. But the excitement from the game is not about variety, it's about how hectic it gets at our later stages. This game gets insane. Sometimes it will stay kind of reasonable. I have runs where I'm just a fucking wrecking ball, destroying everything in my path, and the game will challenge you in kind. Like, you will never feel like you're invincible. Like, if you mess up, if you are not careful, not paying attention to your health, not paying attention to what the hell you're doing, you will get wrecked. Particularly in some bosses. Some bosses are just insanely hard. Once you get to the end of the level, you loop like a nuclear throne. I don't know if you eventually get to an ending. I have not so far. I've only been able to loop once and get to the final boss of that loop and then get murdered by just insane boss arenas. So I cannot tell you whether this game has an ending or not. I have not looked it up. But so far, as far as I know, it doesn't. It's just loop until you die. Anyway, now we get another level up. Upgrading your regular left mouse button attack. I would say it's worth it because you use it quite a lot. This basically the knight's abilities are pretty damn good. The mega swords, they kind of fall behind in my very short experience. I'm not any kind of expert on this game, but in my short experience, the mega swords are not nearly as good as the multi-cleave. The multi-cleave will carry you pretty much. But we're going to upgrade the regular swing, get a little bit more damage out of the regular swing, because we do use it a ton. Like, we were going to use this a lot. And just like in Risk of Rain, your run will probably be made not by your abilities, which they will, you know, they help a lot, the level ups. But what will really make your run will be the items that you gather. The Redeemer has arrived. I did not realize that was the case, so I'm going to show you what happens. The guy just shows up and starts just crapping all over you. He will murder you eventually, so you want to leave. We have found an owl. I don't know exactly what this owl does. I've seen it before. I don't know exactly. The owl seems scared. Break, shield, and pet. I don't understand that. I just hit spacebar. Nothing happens. I want to kill it. Nothing happens. I think I just murdered it with a trap. Whoopsie. I don't know exactly what the deal with that thing is, but there's some secrets scattered about the game that I don't quite understand yet. I only have understood the one with the shelf. You need to have a book to be able to access it. Anyway, we have found a fire dagger recipe. Later on, you go into the forge. In the menus, the game menus, is not like an in-game forge. You go into the menu, and you can craft some weapons that you can equip your characters with. And that is another aspect of the permanent progression. You can equip your starting characters with better stuff. You can, as you can see also, you can basically parry the enemy's attacks with a swing. That is extremely handy later on when the game just starts throwing 1,000 projectiles at you. I've been picking up health potions, and they go in here. You use them up with the pertinent hotkey, and that's what happens. You heal up, nothing much to it. There's other types of potions. You're not usually using them much. They're kind of rare, but some of them are extremely useful. Like, they will really boost your damage a lot. Just put on more of that damage upgrades, and now we get a choice of items. Silver keys, pretty neat. Opens up a silver chest, but you know what? That basically just gives you a item. It might be better quality, but I'd rather go for the surefire thing. Work faster on crit for 5 seconds. I'm down with that. I have enough experience with the game to say, yeah, that's useful stuff. I like to be fast. Being fast is an extremely useful thing in Dungeon Souls. You can get to the point where you are too fast, and then speed kind of becomes a detriment, a bit of a bummer. Like that Wrecking Ball run that I had, it was basically uncontrollable, but I did so much damage that it didn't really matter. I just ran into places and everything just melted. It was a lot of fun while it lasted. In the end, I just got killed by a very grindy boss. Got absolutely destroyed by second to last boss, I think it was. He was just absolutely atrocious. Anyway, by the crit, now I can run a little bit faster. It lasts a little while. We can make good things happening here. Alright, more health potions. Let's just get going now. I've been going extremely slow so far, showcasing what's happening. Let's speed up a little bit. I can continue talking about what's happening on screen. What is this? Icepter's recipe. I continue finding a lot of recipes. I don't know exactly just how many there's going to be, but there's no dearth of recipe, that's for sure. You basically need the ingredients that have been dropping, and the gold that you gather. Everything drops gold. You use it up to, buy stuff. It's a very standard roguelike kind of stuff. Very good stuff, I would say. Just jump into conclusions already. This game is extremely addictive. I would definitely call it that. When you start, it's like, this game, I don't know, man. It's kind of funky. But then, the more you play, the more you want to play more and more and more and more and more. I need to get out of here. The Redeemer is gonna come, but I am a greedy motherfucker. I want to pick up everything. So let's just get out of here and go face Merlin. I thought he was voiced. Most of them are voiced. This is not voiced at all. Okay, never mind. I have a level up. More damage! There you go. Alright, so Merlin, our first boss. He is the secret level boss. It's not terribly intimidating. Most of the time you're going to just swing your sword at him until he dies. That is basically it. With a melee character, this guy is way harder than with a ranged weapon character, of which there are. Like, you have casters and you have swingers. I'm not talking about the 40-something couples that get tired in the sexual lives and they start trying out new and interesting things. Swingers is in a guy that swings a sword or a mace or a giant super weapon of any other description. The reason why you want to go into this particular set of secret levels is you get Merlin's hat. Merlin's hat is so good. It gives you not just the resistance, but the important part is the cooldowns is so much shorter. I can swing the swords that much faster now. And that will just basically enable your run to go much further than you normally would. I mean, depends, of course, on the items that you grab. But most of the time, you're going to depend on getting some pretty damn good items to get anywhere in this game. Anyway, we have leveled up again. More damage, please. I'm going to rely on the items to protect me. And that might be a problem of my runs, why they stop when they stop, because I don't level up defenses. Maybe I should. But I think the reason is pretty damn sound. The more damage you have, the less damage you take. Anyway, 50% chance for attacks to create fire. That's pretty damn useful. Plus 5 to bonus damage. I think that's the way we're gonna go. And Wolf Faster crit, that is stack 1 of 1. Like just at the risk of rain, you can have stacks of the same item, with the exceptions of some of them that are only unique. Once, if you were to buy this, or if you were to pick it up elsewhere, they get converted into resources of some kind, either gold, crafting materials, or experience. So you cannot carry more than one of those, but you can carry more than one of these books. You know, lots of barbarian books. You can read up on how to be a berserker. You can create a stack of those, and you get more damage. This is extremely valuable. Attacks creating fire is also extremely valuable. I'm going to go for the raw damage because I am Nimrod. I am an ignoramus, and I like to just hit things very hard and thus make them explode. There you go. Everything explodes like so. Like I was saying, just get a little bit faster now. This is going very, very slow for my standards. I am going this way. Boulder is going to chase me. No, that was actually an explosion. I got kind of lucky there. Let's destroy all these people. I mistimed that. Everything had not yet spawned, so I didn't get to murder everything. If there's something that might be a little irritating in this game, if I had a legitimate gripe with this game, like I would say a totally fair criticism that I got for this game, is the sound design. I mean, it doesn't bother me. The sounds, though, they are too 8-bitty. They are just like too much, you know, kind of just, instead of sound effects, they're noises. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of noises instead of sound effects. I don't resent them. I feel they could have been better. They could definitely have put it feels like it's more of a design choice than a lack of effort. Still, though, feels like they could have had a much more of an impact, much more of an oomph, a little bit more, yeah, I guess, work put into them. Like get some actual real sound effects, something that makes your impact more meaty, your pickups more less gamey, less annoying, I guess. Anyway, forgetting staff, I think this is the best thing to have, even if this is +1 to bonus damage. You know, it's a stack of 10. It's kind of garbage. This will give me +8 to magic damage, which I don't do yet. I don't know if this has mixed damage. I see. So 17 damage and 140 magical. I think the purple is magical. So this does some magic damage. So we want to grab that. We do have magical damage in our inventory, in our arsenal. So, all right, let's go. I have never found a secret room in the sewers. It might exist. I have never found it. So probably we will not be going there. I want to, though. Like, I love me some secret rooms, and there is some serious benefit to such things. I have no keys, so I cannot open that chest down there. Win to win. All these fools. All right, just continue on. I'm hitting way harder than I normally would at this stage, I would say. I am one-hitting those disgusting whatever the hell these guys are. I don't have I guess mega insects, you can call them. I have been just completely destroyed almost. So let's take some health potions there. All right, where's the last sigil? Need that more health potion. There's the last sigil. Destroy these fools. Just throw mega swords at them, and then find the exit. Go find the boss. All right. Still wondering whether there's a secret room. All right, we can upgrade this. +15 damage. Slashes all enemies within the range. Well, I think this is our best ability, so we're going to upgrade the crap out of it. It does a ton of damage to everything on screen. Crack control, pretty damn important in this game. You do so much with crack control. There's so many enemies. Okay, so we're doing way more damage than I am used to. This guy usually takes a lot to bring down. Today, he went down like a total bitch on his back. Foot finger will fasten. Yeah, we already have one of them, so just turn into 15 metal scrap. Shrug. Cat's paw, 50% chance to gain a +10 experience per critical hit. It will give you some. Ooh, that's not as good as I thought it would. I've never seen that item before. Suppose an orbital eyeball. We get an orbital. It does damage. You know, it shoots magic balls of steel at the enemies that are magical. It is good stuff. Righty, well, this is the gameplay loop in a nutshell. Really, you just go places. This is, old wooden chest. We can just open it. Another orbital. Pretty cool. I think this is like physical damage, whatever it hits. Defense, detonator, treasure box. Higher chance for normal chest to drop uncommon items. That is okay. It's so rare, I'm going to buy it just on principle. The detonator is probably way better because you have seen how many enemies die on screen all the time. And, you know, it cascades a massive damage if you continue killing enemies. But we're going to go with the treasure box. It is like the long play. So that is our choice. And we're going to continue on. Destroying these sigils, throwing damage all over the place. These guys are a little bit more resilient. Uh-oh, I'm slowed down. I might be crushed already. There we go. Did not get murdered. Like I was saying, these traps, they'll wreck your mage. The knight, not so much. The mage is extremely squishy. Like, he will just get killed so quickly. But of course, you know, he does some damn decent damage. Let's use that potion so that you can only carry a stack of 2 potions in each slot. So there's some choice involved there. For the most part, you know, basically, you go through the regular levels and you can get killed, but for the most part, you're not. The things that have a real chance of killing you are the bosses later on. Because they are kind of grindy, not going to discuss this fact. I wouldn't say they are, you know, deal breaker kind of grindy. They are not the Hush kind of grindy. No, I don't like that. There's a cursed item. There's cursed items in the games that have an upside and a downside. I don't like that particular item, so we're going to just leave it behind. It can save your ass in a pinch, but sometimes it's also just a horrible thing because you'll just get completely obliterated. So this guy is starting to be a problem. These guys are always a problem for me, and I would say they're like the dangerous enemy of this zone. As you saw there, I got surrounded, didn't have my crack control ready, so got kind of owned. Here's where the game starts to get kind of hard. You gotta be a little more careful, a little, you know, paying attention to your health. Alrighty. Pay attention to your health, but as long as you're... Well, there's some situations where you will get just max to 0 1 second. So, and there's times where you will get owned in that manner. But as long as you don't play too crazy, you're going to not die in that way. Like right now, I am only halfway to dying, so let's just use that health potion. But quite clearly, right, we're going to see, we're seeing already enemies that are a little too spongy for me to kill in one hit. So we have to actually put a little bit of thought into it, a little bit of effort. And as the game progresses, you know, you run into that problem more and more. Depends, of course, on the luck of the draw. We got pretty shit luck here, so we got a bunch of really shitty enemies to murder. Pretty upsetting. We keep upsetting these traps. They're very annoying. Anyway, foot finger again turns into fire shards. We grabbed a golden key. I am very fond of such things. Let's murder more things. This are just spawns, and technically you could just stay in a level, grind out the spawns. You will get money out of it. Oh, we got a level over here. Here's maybe where I might put points, like, let's put some movement speed. Because I sure love me my movement speed. Okay, just murder more things. There's a golden chest. We're going to open it up, see what comes out of that. I would say the silver chests, not that worth buying the key for. The golden chest is definitely worth it because you get multiple items out of it. You get beer, 50% chance to get drunk and then piss on your neighbor. Alright. Bloodstone, 30% minus... Ooh, never saw this before. This is a pretty damn rare item. That's a ton of health. Sweet deal. Broken Katana, 30% critical hit damage. Hell yeah. That was a very good golden chest. Anyway, let's go down here. It seems like it's the last place that we have to explore. Like I was saying, you know, completely ignoring the... Oh shit, we're almost dead. These guys also a problem. They do a lot of damage. I think the ice caves is where you start. Ice caves, I'm saying ice caves, you know, Splunky and all, but I'm thinking like ice wasteland or whatever. Cooldown reduction, always great. Movement speed, always great. +2 accuracy is very good for the characters that use it. Not so much the knight. The knight doesn't give a crap. I think this is the knight. Am I a knight or a champion or what? I don't know. Whatever. I think the wizard's book is the best way to go. Some more health potions right there. Let's grab it. And this is a bad situation here. Here's a strange tree. I think I need some other weapon to be able to go into this strange tree. This is another secret level. I've gone there. I don't know how to get there. Sometimes I'm able to go in, sometimes I'm not. I think it very much depends on what kind of items you're carrying. I don't seem to be carrying it this time around. The other one required a book. For that to be open, maybe it needs some kind of leaf. There's a few leaf items, like nature-based. So maybe that's what it needs. So far, though, Frost Caverns, that's what it's called. So far, though, I have not been able to elucidate what is that. So this is the regular boss for this level. She's okay, like I don't think she's extremely difficult. She can be a pain in the ass, especially with the ads and some of the frost novas that she creates. This is basically the hardest phase, but it's not bad. So she can be bad depending on your build and just how badly you're doing so far. But I would say we have a very good build so far. Not like overpowered, but definitely worth and we have much better than usual, I would say. We're doing a lot of damage. Redeemer's Essence. Never saw this one before. It takes twice the time for Redeemer to appear. Neat. I don't see why not. Get a Thieves Book. Plus 10.1 movement speed. More health potions that I will consume immediately. And in fact, yeah, Potion of Rage. We're going to grab that. Double damage. Damn useful. That's when you save those for the boss fights. Dealing double damage, super useful. We get another cat spawn out of that. Alrighty. Alright, we have entered the cathedral. What I should do, like what I started doing later on, because it becomes a problem sometimes. You leave the sigil that is next to the exit up, so that way that's the last one you activate, and the Redeemer doesn't come and own your anal cavity. You know, I think that is an expert way of dealing with things. Of course. With the build that we have going for us right now, especially with the Redeemer delay that we have, that's not going to be a problem anymore, so I'm not going to even pay attention to that. But you know, it's a good strategy to make sure that you are going to have a clear path to the exit. If you feel like the Redeemer is going to own your ass, it is a good idea to leave it for later. So yeah, as you can see already, like this is how the game plays. It doesn't change that much from this. It becomes faster, it becomes harder, it becomes more crazy, and sometimes, you know, I would say sometimes unfair. It's kind of like in Diablo Hardcore. It will throw sometimes a combination of enemies that will just own your ass. Not much you can do about it. Hasn't happened very often. I would say at least 9 out of 10 of my deaths have been because I was careless. But anyway, let's make a pick here. Potion of Penetration. I would say this is the Potion of Penetration way better than the Potion of Rage. So we're going to go for that. I could have grabbed the item, and honestly, that's probably what I should have done. Grab the item, the book that gave me extra damage. But with this Potion of Rage, it's working pretty well. It's just murdering my enemies. The Redeemer has been activated. Oh yeah, everything just melted. It's satisfying indeed. Might as well grab these health potions. Alright, moving on to the next level. Ignoring these enemies, just move on to the next thing. I don't remember whether there's a secret room in this level or not. I don't think I've ever found it. Yeah, you just wait for the enemies to spawn, you use your giant super cleave, and move on to the next challenge. It's just the way it is, really. Sometimes, on some characters, like this character is really good for doing that, right? It has that ability. Some characters, they don't have that kind of tool. They have different tools that will deal with the enemies, but it won't be as straightforward as what the Knight or the Champion or whatever the hell this guy's name is doing right now. So don't think that, oh well, activating those sigils is so damn trivial. You just do your ability thing and there's nothing you you can do. The enemies can do to stop you. Well, you saw a few situations where I almost died or I was in danger because there was a lot of damage going on. Let's see what we have, what we want here. Look at that, those traps, they're pissing me off. There you go, there's also a chest here. Probably the garlic, I already have one. Magical damage, slow enemies on hit. Slow enemies on hit, they die before that becomes important. I think resistance is pretty damn important because later on, some bosses in particular, they have some damn strong... Yeah, I don't care about that. Some damn strong attacks, magical attack. They do a ton of damage. think it's not a dumb idea to try to up your magical resistance. I don't think the physical resistance is as important. At least, I mean, I don't know exactly the type of damage that they do, but it looks like pyres of fire and ice beams and all sorts of just magical garbage going on. So probably the resistance you want to up is not the defense, but the magical resistance. Where is the Redeemer? Where is the last sigil that I am missing? Do you guys see anything in the map? Did I not? Yeah, I touched that one. There was nothing here. Was there? No, there was nothing there. What sigil did I miss? I activated that. It would be nice to have them on the map. They do show me. There they are. I think I just didn't... Oh! Did not see this one. Alright, never mind. There you go. Get all that money. The Redeemer takes forever to show up, so I can actually linger a little bit. Get all my money.
Finally,
fight!
You've been causing quite a havoc in the dungeon.
Some of them are voiced. It's nice.
Unfortunately,
It's not even cheesy. Like, it's pretty damn good voice acting. Alright, so this guy, he's basically your first big threat. Like, he will one-shot you sometimes. I don't really understand why, though. Oh yeah, let's use the super critical.
Mega Cleave.
Mega Cleave. I think when he does the Mega Cleave, he has a way of murdering me. I don't know exactly what the attack does, but because sometimes I think that is another small criticism that I would love that way. I would love the game's way. Sometimes the screen's a little too busy, you can't tell what is happening, especially in that run that I had that was just a wrecking ball of death. I did not really understand what was, I mean, in principle, intellectually. I knew what was happening, like I was using the abilities, everything was melting. But visually, I could not tell. I had no idea what was happening on screen. Things are exploding. Because there was just so much stuff exploding and then there was nothing. So, you know, and in a way that you could argue, yeah, that's totally by design. Because just like Risk of Rain, it could get in that mode is a part of the appeal of Risk of Rain at that type of game where you get so powerful that the whole screen's an explosion. You know, so, you know, ups and downs, pros and cons. It is enjoyable, it's fun. I think the Soul Orb, this guy always drops this Soul Orb. Sometimes he says non-applicable. And I think you need to craft a certain item to hold this thing. It's that you can craft a thing that's called a shell. And the one time that I had one of those in my inventory, it actually says Soul Orb so-and-so, the character that I'm using. But right now, it doesn't let you. So I'm assuming that is what the shell that you craft is for. Of course, I have no real answers for you. I'm going to just level everything evenly, not because I think that is the best way to do it, but because I like a variety when we're fighting through these levels. Can upgrade my accuracy, my movement speed. I'm not going to upgrade any of those things. Instead, we're just going to get more goddamn damage. And you know why? You know why we get so much damage? Because of the later bosses. The later bosses are spongy. They never feel like they shouldn't. Like the Hush, right? It's the most egregious thing for me. I absolutely hated that fight in Binding of Isaac because it felt just awful. I did not enjoy myself at all. The bosses in Dungeon Souls, they feel like they should be the way they are. I'm going to buy this. And they feel like it's always a constant challenge, like you're constantly doing damage. And I don't know, it just has this different worthy feel, like you're going through this ordeal, and it's not a matter of, oh, this boss is a bullet sponge. It's more a matter of, can you survive this gauntlet that the game is throwing at you? Can you be methodical enough and all that good stuff? Of course, you know, could just be new game syndrome, and after 40 hours of playing this game, I'd be like just hating life, trying to kill the bosses. So don't take that what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Because they do get grindy, they do get annoying sometimes, especially if you don't have a whole lot of damage. It does feel like, holy shit, this is just crazy hard, and this is going on forever. Let's just get our health potions, gather all our money. Did we find a shop? I think that we did. The Redeemer is still quite a ways off. I believe, yeah, we totally found a shop, so there's nothing else to be gained by staying around here. Let's go through to the next level. Alright. Alright, wow, it's been already 35 minutes. Did not even realize. I thought, oh, maybe I spent 15 minutes, right? This is a thing that this game has. I was playing this game, today is New Year's Day. I was playing this game into the wee hours of the day. I was like, hey, it can't be more than 1 in the morning. It was freaking 3, man. So yeah, this game will just hook you. And you might get sick of it, but for a good 8 to 10 hours, you're going to be like, yeah, one more, yeah, I want to play more. And the progression system, it seems to be pretty lengthy, and it seems also meaningful. Like, you start progressing through the system, and the differences are there from the beginning. And yet, all the changes, they seem like they will continue becoming meaningful. And that is that's a telling factor that I can see this game becoming super hard later on. Like, I am currently unable to kill the... Let's get this medical herb, maybe? Bonus damage, 5% stun chance is good stuff. Let's go for that. Like, the loops and the loops and the loops. I bet that you loop 3 times and the game becomes impossible. Until you get more passive, more passive items, more, permanent progression on. And that's how you beat the next loops. So maybe I would say, perhaps that is the right way to do the Rogue Legacy thing. The permanent progression, just make sure that the challenge is always there, catching up to your insane power without it feeling like it's scaling. This is the boss that killed me in the second loop kind of thing. This is a pretty tough guy. And he takes a long time to murder. So let's just get started. And here's where you start. Instead of having an inventory of potions, you're going to have to rely on grabbing them from the boss fight, because you will run out of them. And the health potions, they seem to be completely random. They spawn. Sometimes I've been completely screwed. No health potions whatsoever spawning, and you just die. So far though, pretty damn good amount of health potions spawning down there. So hopefully that will keep up. We use basically our abilities on cooldown. You see what I'm talking about. It is a little grindy, isn't it? The health pool is slowly going down. My damage is damn good. Like, I am telling you right now, I've been here doing maybe half this damage, and wow, it takes a long time. But right now, my damage, we're about one third of the way down. Very nice. Very nice so far. Here with these super shots. Not much you can do to, like, you can definitely dodge, right? You can see how it's a little bullet helly, but for the most part, you're going to be okay just swinging at the shots. Sometimes it will telegraph the things on the yeah, there you go. You just dodge that. So definitely skill matters in this game. Absolutely, I will tell you, not nearly as skill-based or skill-dependent as Into the Gungeon, not nearly as skill-dependent as Nuclear Throne. Nowhere near. Definitely matters, don't get me wrong. And it is satisfying enough to, when skill matters, that yeah, I was good there, and that is why I survived, right? It's more inventory management than it is dodging. The focus is more okay, do you have your health potions? Are you paying attention to your health? It's more Diablo-like, the skill, than the Enter the Gungeon type of thing, where dodging is like king, queen, and freaking jester of the court is the most important thing. Dodging in here is important, not nearly as important as knowing your resources, knowing when to use what, and getting lucky with drops at some point. So yeah, that's the way this game plays. I don't think it has an in-game end and resume. I think you have to continue until you're dead, which I resent. I don't know though, I have not tested it, and probably will do it for this video just to see if it can happen, because we are into the 40 minutes and I don't like doing that for tryouts of a game, introducing the game to... Oh, you thought it was over? No, now it's phase 2. And this is the hard part of this boss. This is where this boss becomes extremely challenging, because he gets the normal head, does the exact same attacks. For some reason, it hasn't spawned. There it is. It's like, where's the boss? There it is. It has a second boss. It spawns. It can be any of the bosses that you have fought so far, and some others as well. Let's keep that health up, please. you go, grabbing those health potions. Very lucky. You don't usually get nearly these many health spawns. I've been getting quite lucky with the health spawns. So don't think that, oh, well, this thing is trivial because you're getting all these health potions. Yeah, right now it is, but I'm getting lucky with those spawns. It's not the norm. At least so far for me. I do not have a super huge sample size. But for my current experience, I will tell you that you don't nearly get so much health dropping like that. I'm basically ignoring the other guy. He's just shooting up there, doing his thing. I'm just going to smack this disgusting super face in the head and try to avoid damage from the other dude, because this is the only guy that counts. He will continue pummeling. As you can see, we are kind of running out of potions, but thankfully another one dropped. Healing up. This guy needs to die though. He's that ad. Let's get rid of him. Alrighty, well, pretty grindy, right? This is where I think a little too lengthy. I understand why though some runs will just melt through this. Not really, honestly. I have not yet had a run where this fight was trivial. The judgment takes forever. He is the second to final boss of the game though, so I understand why it's like this, but it could stand a bit of a nerf on the health, because surviving is not a matter of just how long you last. I don't know. It's just, I wouldn't call it poor design. I'm just going to say it could be better. It could be better than what it is. Nothing that I have a gripe against right now. So now we're just ending this disgusting creature. Just the ad boss is now down. A red scarf. Pick it up. Potioner's Rage is welcome. More health potions indeed. Don't go through the exit though. Give me all the cash. No keys. Alright, a cannonball. Destroy that chest. And more cannonball. And what you got? More money? Really? You can't have 2 coin purses? That's kind of silly. This is lifesteal. Here is what will make your run later on. And like you have seen the giant groups of enemies, right? Lifesteal makes it so that you don't have to rely on health potions anymore. Anyway, we have a level more damage. Did you see why damage is damn important? It makes that fight go much, much faster. The more damage you have, the more bearable the bosses become. Anyway, now we're here. We face the Skeleton King a couple hundred times. This is what happens in this. And right now, I'm kind of getting to spoilery territory. You get to this place. I think we're going to call it right here. I'm sorry if you expected the run to end. Yeah, this is all good stuff. Potion of Retrieve. I think that heals you to full 50% of the time. 50 other percent of the time, it does nothing. So pass on that. What else have we not seen? There's sometimes an item that drops that is active. It fills up the slot. Much like in Risk of Rain, you get an active item. You can use it. It's on cooldown. They're usually pretty damn powerful. It's good stuff. What else have we covered? The Forge. Let's do that. I would love... Oh, man. I guess we're throwing this run away. Are you sure you want to return to the main menu? All progress will be lost. That sucks, but if I continue with this run, this could be an hour and a half run, and that is not the purpose of this video. I just wanted to showcase it on the channel. So, you know, if you really want to see a series of this game, I would be open for it. I don't know if it has the staying power, though, that to make it enough of a series out of it, because I can see myself getting kind of tired of it, maybe 10 runs in or something like that. So I felt like doing a one-shot was a much cooler way of going about it. And besides, I don't want to spoil how it ends. I don't know if you are interested in such things, but, you know, I'm just going to cut it right here. Go to the main menu. There you go. Yes, fuck the progress. Who cares about that? I could have just killed myself. Oh, that was dumb. I should have just killed myself. That was super dumb. I wonder if I had the money. Now I'm curious. I think I kept the money. No, I did not keep the money. I kept nothing. All right, well, that's good to know. There is no end run and resume. There is no such thing, so, you know, beware of that. Here's the Forge. You gather these recipes. This is the shell that I was talking about. I think this is what holds the orb, and that's what you use to keep it. I don't know what that does, but I think that's that's what you need. Let's make one. I don't think I have the ingredients for it. That's too bad. Yeah, when you have the ingredients for it, the forge icon will light up. I don't have the... Oh, of course, I don't have the money because I didn't keep all the money that I gathered. That's too bad. Anyway, you know, you gather all the recipes and you can have them here, and you know, you use them. Then you go to the character selection. Use equip your guys with a weapon of choice. There you go. That's how it goes. That is the other aspect of the progression in the game. That is Dungeon Souls for you. It is a very fun game so far. I am about 4 to 6 hours in, maybe more than that at this point. Who's counting anyway? And I would definitely say it's worth the money, the price of admission. If you enjoy this kind of game, I would say if you had a good time with Enter the Gungeon, if you had a good time with Risk of Rain, Nuclear Throne, if you enjoy any kind of those games, this game will be worth your money. Don't know if you will go hooked for many hours, but definitely worth playing, giving it a try. All the characters, again, just like Risk of Rain, they all have their own moveset. Each one of them, I wouldn't say each one is unique, a brand new experience, but you know, each one of them has its own abilities and they all feel distinct, that's for sure. So I think that's it. That wraps it up. The more you play them, the more of an experience thing you get. Too bad I did not realize that just quitting would erase all my progress. I would definitely have just killed myself if I had known that. I mean, it did tell me, but I was hoping, you know, at least it will give me the money, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Hope that, you know, you find it reasonable. You find it a fun game, and you found this video an entertaining and informative perusal of Dungeon Souls. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, continue coming back from the dead until all your enemies have perished.